The first step to breaking the procrastination loop fast is to understand how it works. Procrastination isn't random. It's a loop of habits that happens over and over again. The loop goes like this: cue, craving, action, reward. Here's how it works. You feel uncomfortable, you feel overwhelmed. Maybe you have a big project due in a couple of days and you just haven't started yet. That feeling of being overwhelmed is the cue. The next step is the craving. You want to escape that feeling, so you go do something else that makes you feel good. You watch TV, you scroll through social media, you text your friends. And while you're doing these things, you feel better. You feel relieved. And that relief is the reward. Your brain then learns from this experience. It learns that when you feel uncomfortable, if you take action and you do something else, you get rewarded with relief. So the next time you feel uncomfortable, guess what? You do the same thing. You procrastinate. And this cycle keeps going round and round and round, making procrastination a habit. This loop is driven by a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is released in the brain when we anticipate a reward. But here's the interesting part. Our brains love fast rewards. They love immediate gratification. And let's be honest, working towards a goal that's far in the future doesn't feel very rewarding. Working towards a deadline that's far in the future doesn't feel very rewarding. It doesn't light our fire. But when you break down a big task into a very small one and you get a sense of relief almost immediately, guess what? That lights our fire. That activates our motivation. So to break the procrastination loop fast, you need to break this loop at the action step. Because once you stop the action, the whole loop stops. You see, a lot of people try to break the procrastination loop by increasing the reward of the work itself. They say, "Oh, I'm going to finish this work, and then I'll treat myself to ice cream. I'm going to finish this work, and then I'll go watch a movie." Guess what? That doesn't work. If you ask your brain, "Hey, would you rather have an ice cream now or an ice cream after you finish this really boring task?" Guess what your brain is going to say? It's going to say, an ice cream now versus an ice cream after I finish this really boring task. Let me choose an ice cream now. Why? Because your brain is always looking for the biggest dopamine hit. And this is why most people cannot finish their work and then reward themselves with something enjoyable. They do something else instead. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, then just make the reward bigger. If an ice cream doesn't work, maybe a whole pizza will work. Think about it. Will a whole pizza make you finish all your work? Probably not. Your brain will still find a way out. It will still find something else to do. Let's look at the 4 steps to break the procrastination loop fast. The first step is to shrink the task. You need to make it so small that it's impossible for you to resist. For example, let's say you need to write an essay. Don't tell yourself, "Okay, I'm going to write my essay today." That's too overwhelming. Instead, tell yourself, "Today, I'm just going to open my essay document." Next, open your file and read the instructions. Then you can say, "Okay, now I'm going to write 1 sentence." And you sit down and you write 1 sentence. Once you finish that sentence, close the document and look at the clock. How much time did it take you to write that 1 sentence? Write down the time. It probably took you less than 5 minutes. Now set a timer for 5 minutes and go back to the document and write whatever comes to your mind. Just write for 5 minutes and don't worry about finishing the essay. Why does this work? Because when you shrink your task, you shift your mindset from, "I have to do all of this work," to, "Wow, I can do a little bit of this work right now." And when you focus on doing just a little bit, it becomes impossible to resist. When you focus on doing a little bit, you feel like you can do it. When you focus on doing everything, you feel overwhelmed. Second, you need to activate your identity. We talked about this in a previous video. Your identity shapes your actions. And when you want to shape your actions, you change your identity. So after you finish writing that first sentence, celebrate it. Say, "Yes, I am someone who writes." Even if you haven't finished your essay, even if you have a lot more work to do, say, "Yes, I am someone who writes." Third, you need to create fast rewards. This is key. You want to track every single start. Every single start is a small win, and when you log your small wins, you're able to see your progress more clearly. You're able to see how much work you've actually done. Because a lot of times when you're procrastinating, you don't realize how much work you've actually done. You think you haven't done anything, but if you look at your to-do list, you'll see that you actually have a bunch of things checked off. But if you don't track your starts, if you only track your finishes, then it looks like you're not making any progress. And this is demotivating. What you want to do is celebrate your initiation, not your completion. Fourth, you need to stack momentum. Momentum begets momentum. Once you've written that first sentence and you've tracked it, put the timer on and start writing. You don't want to stop again. You want to keep going. And that's why we suggest using focus windows. This is a technique where you set a timer for 10 minutes and you sprint like your life depends on it for those 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes are up, you take a break. But before you do that, you want to stretch your focus window. Before you take that break, look at the timer and ask yourself, can I do this for another 10 minutes? Can I do this for another 10 minutes? Chances are you're going to say yes. And when you do that, you extend your focus window. You push it a little further, you sprint a little further. This stacking of momentum will trigger more dopamine release in your brain. It will activate your reward center because it's giving your brain exactly what it wants, fast rewards. Finally, you need to repeat this daily. This is how you rewire your brain. You repeat this daily until you make the new loop your habit. You want to repeat this daily until starting your work becomes second nature. You don't need to wait until you feel motivated. In fact, you never need to wait until you feel motivated. You just need to start, and then your motivation will catch up. Here's the cool thing. Once you've broken the procrastination loop and you've built some momentum, you'll start feeling different. You'll start feeling more confident. You'll start feeling more in control. You'll start feeling more motivated. And this is because you've changed the relationship between your work and your brain. Now your brain associates work with fast rewards. Look, I know this is easier said than done. It takes courage to face your fear and start anyway. But I'm telling you, the moment you stop fighting your procrastination and you start working on it, it becomes a solvable problem. You become the one who decides when to start, not the anxiety or the overwhelm. Think about the last time you broke the procrastination loop. How did it feel? It probably felt really good, right? You probably felt accomplished, proud, satisfied. Now imagine feeling like this all the time. Imagine feeling like this every day. And this is possible. It's totally possible. It takes some effort, it takes some consistency, but it's possible. So the next time you find yourself stuck in a loop of procrastination, I want you to remember this video. I want you to remember these steps. And I want you to know that you are capable of breaking free from this loop. You just need to take that first step. You just need to shrink your task, activate your identity, create fast rewards, stack your momentum, and repeat daily. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends. And if you'd like more videos like this one, check out the videos on screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.